Hello, everyone, and it's the time of the year when a little known island called Taiwan is the main destination for all you techies.
I thought it was Hawaii.
It's Taiwan, isn't it?
That's where they have the Qualcomm event. Seems fancy to have a Qualcomm event in Hawaii, the other island.
The other island. Yeah, the
Mahalo.
little Taiwan island, yeah. So it's fondly known as the capital of the tech industry for one reason. That's because most of the tech, or the world's tech, is actually developed or made there. So on our podcast show this week, we're going to be talking about some of the new tech and what to expect or what we might expect at Computex this year. So joining me each and every week is Stephen Fong, our co-host.
Hello.
And so Stephen, what do you expect to see at Computex this year?
More versions of AI.
Oh, yeah, AI is going to be everywhere.
Maybe some apps that are in like little boxes that claim to be like AI companions
Yeah.
that work really poorly, that have very poor battery life, but it's actually an app that you can run on your phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about actually that.
But
in a minute. Yeah.
hopefully they have something that's better than that, because the Rabbit R1 and the human pin, those have been real failures in the AI space recently. And I hope to see something that actually works correctly, because heck, I would love a comm badge like Star Trek.
Hey, computer.
That would be fantastic. Computer, show me something, and then it projects that. I would like to see a world that looks like that. So Computex, impress me.
Yeah, I mean, each and every year, it shows really impressive because it's not just unlike CES in Las Vegas, where everything's fragmented in all different hotels, which is a big pain in the ass, right? Computex is one building. Oh, well, the main Computex shows in one building, right? And there's the Nangan Center. We have like several floors, but mostly on floor 1 and fourth floor. Yeah, we have all the main manufacturers, right?
Yeah,
everything's there.
It's also a place where, if you compare CES and Computex, Computex is actually the future, because these products may or may not make it into production. By the time you get to CES, these are shipping.
Yeah, right.
They're shipping. They will be on shelves within the next quarter. So when you go to Computex, these products may or may not make it for another year or two.
It's true.
So I hope that whatever they're showing off, I hope these human AI pin things that I can wear on my chest and just tap, like the Starship Enterprise, where I can call up for a beam up, actually exist, because I'm really excited to see this. Like, I know that phones, very exciting. You have one, I have one.
Yeah.
But to take it out, to open it up, to ask it a question, to put it back and put it down again, I don't want those steps. I want that Star Trek experience that everyone seems to have. And I know that earbuds are great too, but it seems like you're not in the conversation when you're wearing them sometimes. Right? Like, if I was wearing earbuds here, I know that we were recording a podcast because we can hear each other.
Yeah.
But what if I was standing in line at the coffee shop and I was talking to you? Am I really talking to you? Or am I just ignoring everything that you say?
You're speaking to thin air, or even better is the Apple's gestures, hand gestures. Are you going to be doing this all the time?
Like, am I dancing? Like, I love Indian dance. It's fantastic.
You're doing some hand gestures. But yeah, AI. We're going to see a lot of AI.
Yeah,
but
that's the theme of the show. Computex is celebrating AI this year.
Yeah, definitely, because especially with NVIDIA, with all the AI stuff, and then we're going to see a lot of servers. When I say servers sounds boring.
Yeah.
But when you see some of the stuff that's actually out there, it's a different world. How, it's not called servers anymore. They're called accelerators, AI accelerators. And inside those things are basically really, really powerful GPUs. Not CPUs, GPUs, because they do trillions and trillions of calculations per second, right?
See, I wonder if it's like, you know how humans have dreams? We dream visually,
Yeah.
right? I wonder if the move to GPU is more like some weird AI brain that's like having a fever dream. It's got to visualize all these permutations and everything and spit it out like a human brain. I wonder why that's one of the reasons why a GPU, besides the calculations and the throughput, might be a reason why we have to do this rather than a CPU.
Well, they already developed the Omniverse. That's NVIDIA, right?
Yeah.
So Omniverse is a virtual world that's inside this yeah, a virtual world, and basically it's all powered by NVIDIA GPUs, and you can actually develop and create products or services or anything that you can visualize inside this omniverse before it gets into prototype.
So maybe I'm not so dumb in asking this question because it's got to be visual, right? I mean, I know that computers see things. It's how they get along in our world. It's how
And they can recognize objects and things like that.
like people when they're self-driving a vehicle, right? So this is very interesting technology.
That's why it's all hush hush, and they can't export it out to certain countries.
maybe some of these companies that we're about to talk about have the ability to do that. So why don't we move on?
Yeah, so as you know, it's a tech show, and of course, a lot of consumer products because that's what we get to see. And PCs and laptops are, of course, the main kind of stay of
Bread and
most
butter.
bread and butter kind of stuff, right? And we already seen laptops because laptops, a lot of people now have desktop PCs for gaming and things like that, and it's great to have a desktop PC at home. But if you're traveling and if you're doing a lot of business stuff as well, laptops is kind of the main focus for a lot of these brands.
I agree.
And they have new processors now from Intel. They used to be called the Core i5, i3, i7, i9, and stuff like that. So they're going to scrap that wording or the brand name, and they're going to just call it Ultra.
So they've gone plus ultra.
Yeah, so it's going to be called Ultra, Ultra 3, Ultra 5, Ultra 7, things like that. So it's just a new name branding for an Intel processor for the laptops right now.
So technically they've gone anime on everything. It's gone plus ultra.
Yeah. And it's the next processor architecture they already have for laptops, because normally Intel releases new architecture on their laptops first. And then they put onto their desktop. So we might see desktop version of the Ultra CPUs, but we don't know. But definitely new laptops with Ultra CPUs in them already.
Makes sense because because you're not running at the same clock speeds, they can bin some of the poorer performing ones first to put into laptops, and then they bin the faster ones for the desktop.
Yeah,
That's very smart.
And also, I think the Ultra supposedly have better what it called wattage usage, TDP they call it.
Performance per watt.
Performance per watt. So in other words, lower voltage, lower wattage means save power on your battery life. So that's good. Again, we'll probably see a lot more of those laptops, gaming laptop, business laptops, and laptops with dual screens. I see a trend in, like, especially for productivity, for people who does a lot of Photoshop and video, Premiere and stuff like that. They can have dual screen laptops, and
They're
not
getting
just
thinner.
Yeah,
too.
thinner. With dual screen means that the keyboard is gone. You can actually attach a virtual physical keyboard if you want, a Bluetooth keyboard, but the keyboard is actually a touch screen.
But that's not brand new though, because I believe that was it Acer or IBM?
Asus did one.
They did one a long time ago.
Asus Duo something.
Yeah. Like this is old tech.
Yeah.
But
we're going to see a lot more.
Is there a reason why it works now versus not working before?
I think before it was half and half, means it was too thick to have two screens stuck together.
Possibly. Oh, battery life, because screens suck up a lot of
exactly,
power. Okay,
yeah. So now have better battery life and stuff like that. And also, when you fold up the laptop, you have two screens on either side, right? Which
but
means
still not all day battery life though, because you have an extra screen.
Yeah, not all day.
I mean, it's like a phone. If a phone had no screen, it would last forever.
Yeah, it's like the
Right.
Samsung foldable phones.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have two screens, right?
Yeah.
And so we must see a lot more of that for office style kind of laptops. But I think for laptops is a good investment, to be honest with you. If you can last like 2 to 3 years, that's good lifespan for a laptop, right?
Oh yeah, my Dell lasted me for many years. It was a
Yeah.
2017 model. I only retired it when I came across that screaming deal on the Gigabyte.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the good thing with laptops is most PC laptops now I'm talking about, not Macs. PC laptops are able to upgrade the memory as well as upgrade the SSDs, which is great because we've done a couple of podcasts with.
That's right. We told you
brands.
everything that you can upgrade in the laptop, and that was a really great, and intense, and also extensive episode where we not only went into some of the things that you could do physically, like the memory,
Yeah.
SSD and everything, but we also went into some things that actually allow you to extract more performance consistently, like changing the heatsink paste, or just simply cleaning it actually helps with the thermals and the performance of your laptop, especially if you're gaming. They get hot.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But
and
if
collect
there's-
dust.
but if they have a fleece on the inside, they're wearing it. Guess what? It's not going to perform very well.
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna get a lot of overheating stuff like that.
Exactly, especially summer. So it might be a good because summer is here for many parts of the world. Have a look at that guide. It's somewhere in episode it's season six or something like that.
Yeah.
Kingston helped us out with that. So maybe it's season 7.
Season 6.
Season 7,
Yeah.
6 or 7, where we go over everything. Have a look at that.
Yeah.
Some things in there might help you out with extracting the best possible performance out of your existing machine before you have to buy a new one.
Exactly, because most laptops come with, say, standard 8 gig or 16 gig of RAM. Now you can just whip that out and add an extra a bigger module, memory module,
Yeah.
to say 32 gig or even 64 gig, which you're gonna do, right?
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that next week. I have to schedule that in to actually pull my machine apart and do 64 because I think that based on the amount of stuff that we're going to be doing for Computex, which is the show that we're really excited to go to. I'm going to be rendering a lot of video. I'm probably going to be leaving all of the batch rendering inside the hotel room while in the air conditioned hotel room.
Yeah, it's true.
And we have to put the card in the light switch.
It's like switch, yeah.
Because
the timer.
otherwise, all the power is going to shut off in our
That's
hotel room, and all the renders are going to not work.
Yeah, but yeah, that even that small boost in memory increase upgrade can actually improve performance, right?
Yeah.
So that helps, and also storage. So again, most laptops with 512 gig or even 1 terabyte, you can actually upgrade into 2 terabytes or even 4 terabyte for the SSDs are getting cheaper. Except for PCI 5. So we'll probably see more PCI 5 SSDs. Again, those are the NVMe kind of long strip of,
The
SSDs.
bubblegum strip.
Yeah. That you
Aren't
can
they
put in.
really hot though?
They've done really hot. Yeah, they run really hot. So you need, so PCI 5 SSDs probably won't be available for laptops because they can run really hot. For desktop PCs though, you need a big massive heatsink just for that SSD. And the most motherboard manufacturers will include that in their boards. But we'll see PCI 5 speeds up to 14,000 megabytes per second. To give you an idea how fast that is, most people who have SATA SSDs, right?
Yep.
The old square 2.5-inch SSDs.
Those max out at 550.
500, 550, something like that. Then you're talking with the new PCI 5 Gen 5 SSDs, they go up to 14,000 megabytes per second. We're going to probably see a lot of them. Right now on the market, affordable ones, around about 5,000 to 7,000 megabytes per second, right?
Yeah.
So that's enough. That's good enough for most desktops and also PC for rendering and Photoshop stuff like that. So,
You know what? That makes a lot of sense because I was wondering why Corsair. We'll probably talk about them at some point. Why they actually released this this water cooling block
yeah.
that straps to your you basically just put it into your loop. I was
Yeah.
wondering why someone would go to that extent to cool this tiny stick
Yeah.
of gum, and it totally makes sense. Although I'm curious why they didn't do fans first because I think that's a lot more accessible.
Yeah, the fans I
know?
did. I think PNY, one of those, it's an American company that they do a lot of memory upgrades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They also do a PCI Gen 5 SSD with built-in fan and RGB.
Huh.
Now I've actually seen one of those. They look great with that RGB and that kind of stuff. Twin fans, they look great, but there's a noise.
A
the
whine
fans.
probably.
It's
Maybe
like,
our friends
oh,
at
man.
Noctua will have a passive cooling solution with a smaller fan or something. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
this seems like the way things are going because PCI Express Gen 5 is very hot. Most components run super hot and they expel a lot of heat.
Yeah.
It's just the way things are until they shrink the nanometers
Probably,
on that
probably.
process, and it's going to be market for some time. on that.
And when the SSD overheats, what happens is it throttles the performance. So you're actually getting low performance if you don't actually have enough cooling.
Okay, so this is definitely something for PC, not desktop only. For now.
For now.
Okay.
And then the other thing we expect to see is memory sizes. So if we ask you a question, you probably see a lot of PCs or laptops with like 8 gig, 16 gig, 32 gig, 64, right? Those are the even numbers, right? That's kind of like the what do you call it? The binary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. 2, 4, 6, 8, stuff like that, right? So now we're going to see really weird memory sizes like 48 gigs, 96 gig, 192
Wait,
gigs.
hold on. This sounds like M1, M2, M processor sizes.
Yeah, kind of.
Did the PC industry borrow an idea from Apple? Did they reinvent Apple memory architecture?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I've seen these sizes coming along now for PCs and now coming on to laptops.
Interesting.
So we will probably see memory sizes now going forward that you have options to get like 48 gigs, 96 gig, 192
Okay.
gigs. Of course, the more memory you have, the better performance you'll get in terms of rendering and that kind of stuff as Photoshop and opening lots of windows.
Yes.
Windows browsers.
Browser windows like Chrome with your 200 emotional support tabs
Yeah, so
Open.
definitely
all the time.
And I don't think those sizes, however, though, they're a bit more pricier than your standard. So, for example, if I was going to get 64 gig or the choice to get a 96 gig, the 96 gig versus 64 doesn't sound much difference in terms of memory size. It's only like the 20 gig difference, but the price is actually more. So it's actually better off still to get the 16, 32, or 64 gigs if you can afford it, right?
Or if it's compatible, because I know some laptops are not
That's right.
compatible.
It's more compatibility with 16, 32, and 64. Your motherboard and also your laptops need to have probably the latest BIOS updates, and you need to check your QVL list, the qualified vendors list, to make sure the board or the laptop supports those weird sizes like the 48 gig, 96 gig, and so on.
Yeah,
So-
this is also in that episode that we're talking about.
Yeah.
We cover all of that. So if this is too deep, go to that episode. We dive in more in that.
And with new phones, especially iPhone 15 series, Android phones already support it, and Android tablets
For
and stuff like that for
years.
years. iPhone 15 with the USB-C
Yep.
connected right now.
They recently reinvented.
That's right, reinvented USB-C. We're now going to see a lot of external SSDs on the market, especially from these manufacturers and vendors that will support direct recording straight onto the SSD.
iPhone certified probably as well too.
Probably, yeah.
For 20% more money for the same product.
You have to, if you have the word Apple in it, you're going to have to pay extra for it.
The Apple tax. Made for iPhone. MFI.
Yeah. So I think Kingston does them. Lexar, Samsung
Samsung,
drives.
of course.
Yeah, of course. USB-C connected. I think these ones are the USB 3.2 Gen 2x2.
So they're really fast.
Fast.
So they're over 2,000 megabytes per second.
That's right.
Read
yeah.
and write.
Read write.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And those connect straight to your phone, and you could record directly on them as well.
Yeah. If you watched our podcast a couple weeks ago when we talked about Apple's iPhones and not iPhones, or iPads, they have this really neat technology that they've put together. If you want to scroll back a couple episodes, we do talk about the latest iPads. They are doing something like that. So check that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for Android tablets, this one we already tested. This one, the Xs 1000, Xs 2000 from Kingston, works immediately on this device. They're not Android certified, but it's a known thing that Android tablets do recognize them as a storage volume.
Yeah, that's
immediately.
Great. That's great. And good thing about these SSDs, external SSDs, is that once you record them directly from your phone onto this, you can actually take this then directly put it into your laptop or your PC and actually render and edit and
That's
save
right.
directly from the drive. So you don't have to transfer from the external device to your hard drive on your PC or laptop. You can actually edit directly off it.
Yeah, there are some I think limitations. You have to write to a format that is actually readable. Some formats when it actually formats the device for directly adding video to it, it will format in the process in a way that's like it's exFAT or something like that, or NTFS.
So if you want compatibility between Apple and PCs, you need to format in exFAT mode, right?
Yeah.
If it's NTFS only, which is PC only, it may not work for the Apple.
Yeah.
So just got to be careful with the type of format you need to.
Yeah, so
do
these
that.
are things that I guess the industry is still working out because they do want to allow this capability. I mean, it would be great if I can just Velcro a external drive like an Nexus 2000 or 1000. They're super tiny, just on the back of my phone that I can record all freaking day long. That would be great. That would be fun.
So that's what we expect for PCs and laptops. I'm not sure if there's anything else. Anything else you expect?
I think form factors. I think we're seeing a lot of RGB on the outside and thinner form factors. I really want to see more on that.
Mini PCs are making a comeback.
Yeah, it's time.
They're making a comeback.
Corsair's made one that looks like the trash can Mac. Like it's the same form factor, but it actually works properly, and you can upgrade things, which is great.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot more of those as well. Mini PCs, the back end, the micro kind of like. Remember
Yeah.
back in the day when those media boxes, people used to store all their movie collection on those little.
The Zotac Z boxes,
Yeah, those
like
tiny
things like
things.
that. The Intel
Nux.
Nux,
Yeah, Nux. Yeah,
yeah, those things.
coming back.
They were a good idea, but at the time things weren't quite micronized, or the performance wasn't there.
Wasn't there at the moment at
Right.
the time.
I think it's time to bring that back.
Yeah, it's back.
AI PCs. I think that's time
Yeah,
to bring that back.
yeah.
It's a good time for that. And I think also because of the way that the whole market's moving as well too, we're gonna see, and this is an innovation I want to see. I know that in the PC market, you don't get a lot of innovation in this space in terms of form factor because power supply, they're huge, right? I remember this conversation we had with your friend Tony from Rygen Tech.
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah.
see that shrinking because I think that that's something that the PC industry has established, that these are the form factors.
Yeah.
However, if you're with a laptop, recently, just after the show, I was dragging this huge brick around with my Gigabyte laptop, and I found this company. I can't remember the name, but if I remember it, they actually make GaN chargers for laptops. So this is gallium nitride. This is the stuff that basically allows power delivery on small, like the smaller chargers that have massive amounts of power, like 150, 200 watts of power.
Right.
They make a power supply for laptops that is like literally 1/3 the size of the one I was dragging
Wow.
around.
Wow.
So I'm going to be bringing that to Computex because that thing's heavy, and this
The
thing's
power brick.
like literally. When we do our show, when we do our travel show when we're in Taiwan, you know what? When we do our travel show in Taiwan, I'm going to insert some B-roll of the two side by side. You'll understand. Actually, Winston doesn't have one of these, so maybe I'll compare it to his because
Yeah.
his is big.
Mine's already quite big. It's the Asus or Asus
Yeah.
power bank for the Zephyrus.
So it's at least half the size.
Well, that's well. If they can make portable chargers for USB phones and things like that, small. So I can't see why they can't do that for laptops.
Yeah, like I mean, that would be the greatest innovation because you have this nice slim laptop. It fits inside a 13-inch bag, but you need another bag to carry your power supply.
The power supply is quite heavy.
How
the
does that
power
even
pack.
work? Right? Like that's silly. Like if anything, I would like to see power supplies that look more like what I hate to say it, what Apple actually has, like with the little wall wart thing. It's small.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could like something like that. I know Asus does that, but they're too underpowered. The
Right.
small ones. If they can just get gallium nitride,
The reason why Apple can do it is because their processors don't run that hot,
Yeah.
and also it's low voltage, right? It's basically a phone chip.
It's a
inside
phone chip.
in their laptop, so you
So-
don't need that power.
so now that we know that a company has this type of technology and they've been selling it for quite a while now, they were initially a Kickstarter. I have one of these, bought it off Amazon immediately. We know the technology is there. We know that Lenovo has been doing that as an accessory for some of their gaming laptops because they realized that, holy crap, this thing needs its own laptop bag beside the gaming laptop. So, guys, I'm looking for you at Computex.
Yeah, that's true. So power supplies, we might see some new ones for those ones.
Yeah, smaller, lighter,
Lighter.
more powerful, less heat.
Let's eat.
Yep, gallium nitride, GaN.
Okay, so of course, Computex, like you mentioned earlier, it's all about AI. So AI is going to be everywhere, right? Both software-wise and hardware-wise. So we'll probably see more AI in terms of robots or robotics, mini little robotic toy things that answers your calls and stuff like that. And software-wise, I saw this thing which works with. I'm sure NVIDIA will have one, but this one was for the AMD. So this company called ASRock, they got the software called AI QuickSet, they call it, right?
Okay.
So you load it up onto your PC or laptop, and if you have a Radeon in there, a Radeon graphics card from AMD, it will then, you can type in a text, like, show me a dog. And the software then will randomly go on the internet, I guess. It must be the internet. And it will create or come up with an image of a dog. Yeah, so it's random stuff, right?
Okay.
And so that's kind of like the gimmick fun thing that they were trying to do. But you mentioned that Rabbit R1, right?
Rabbit R1,
It's like what is it? Is it like an assistant kind of
It's basically a tiny headless phone.
I've seen iJustine and
Yeah, it's red. It has a tiny
and
screen on it.
also Unboxing Therapy. They did this unboxing.
Yeah, it's what they found out was that it's basically an app running on specialized hardware. The app itself is based on Android, so you can actually run the entire app on your phone. Like, that's just weird.
I saw a demo. Basically, you it's got a little camera as well, so you can ask it questions. And
Yeah, you can take a picture of something.
Yeah.
What's this? It'll try to tell you within like however long it talks.
Yeah, so it tells you
Takes.
what it is. It takes a picture and stuff like that, and also
It's snarky.
yeah, and it looks very toy Nintendo style, right?
Yeah,
it's a
it's,
square block. Is red.
It's teenage engineering design, and it's using what's called a large language model, which basically takes it's basically a bunch of macros inside this box that will literally go and navigate the websites that you frequent. So it actually knows your passwords and everything. It logs on, links that up, which is kind of scary to me. So
Right.
let's just say that you've let it have access to your last password and everything like that. It knows how to mouse click into it and challenge all of the things to get into your account, and then it will extract the password, go to your your travel website, and book you your travel, give you options for travel, and then book that for you.
All right,
That's
so
that's the dream.
right, so it kind of like assists you by doing all that kind of stuff. So, for example, say, "Hey, Rabbit, I want to go on holiday to say Hawaii," and then at this certain date. So it'll do that and log in and put on the dates, put in the hotel, and of course the budget. You mentioned the budget, and
Yeah.
it'll look for the best price.
Like
and
imagine
book it
if
for you.
what we're talking about, visual, right? The AI needs to have a visual cue to do things, but it doesn't necessarily need eyes. We need to see a screen. It doesn't. So if you can imagine through its POV, it's actually clicking to your website, going into the website, adding the password, going inside the Expedia for you, searching everything up and giving you the options back to you, reading it back to you, then clicking virtually from its POV on the trip that you want and booking it for you. It's basically doing that.
Yeah.
It's a human assistant.
Yeah, human assistant.
Yeah.
So when Stephen talks about POV, right, in that iRabbit, whatever you call
It's
it,
the rabbit's eye.
right,
Literally.
yeah.
It's virtual eye.
yes, virtual eye. So how it sees it, it's not actually a website. It's just if you look into any website and you right click on the properties and show the data, it's all code, right? Or HTML code or whatever PHP code. So the rabbit thing will scan that code, and where you input the field input, where you put your username, password, and stuff like that, it looks for the input fields, and then it will put those data in there. So it scans the code of the page, input field finds it, and then puts in your details, and then
I want to find out more about how this works because I'm not sure if it is even like that. I think it literally just it's like those bots that click around on your
bots.
screen.
Oh,
It's a bot.
it's a bot. So Rabbit is a
right?
bot,
It's basically a smart bot.
smart bot.
Yeah, with a large language model behind it, they can understand what you're saying and what you're asking, and then give those results back to you after being a bot and clicking around things.
Right.
It's kind of how it works.
How much is it?
$100.
That's not
Yeah,
too
it's
bad.
not so bad.
Not too bad.
Versus the human AI pin, that thing was like $700.
So-
plus a monthly subscription fee. Plus it gets really hot. It has a cellular chip inside.
It's how big is it? Actually, it's a pin.
It sits right here. It's like
That's right by your
bigger than a
heart.
com badge.
That's by your heart.
Yeah,
It could do something to you.
I don't know.
Okay.
It just gets really hot and the battery life is horrible. They
So-
sell a backup battery bank that clips on the inside of your pocket.
Right.
So you actually have to wear clothing that's built for it because otherwise it sags.
You need cooling.
Yeah.
Okay, so compared to the Rabbit, which one is better? Do you think?
I think based on cost, I think the Rabbit's more fun to play with, but I'm
to
still
it.
scared about it giving it all those types. That control
Right.
is crazy. Like, I mean, $100 device with all of your life passwords,
You know when they
everything.
say,
Come on.
You know when they say, oh, no information is stored on our servers, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Everything's actually stored on the device. It's secure.
Something. No. I don't believe it.
Okay.
I think that people that have been testing it with their own personal stuff, it's not smart. If they had testing accounts, great. I hope that someone set up some test test accounts for this.
Hmm.
If it's your real stuff, it's gotten into your banking and everything like that, and this company decides, hey, you know what? We're just going to wipe out all these accounts.
Or even worse, it gets hacked.
Get your crypto. Bye
It-
bye.
Yeah, if it's hacked, then that's it. But okay, so Rabbit and the pin. What else do you think will have at the Computex? Do you think people actually, or the vendors will actually create devices like these?
They won't create anything. They're going to use one of the language models from maybe Gemini from Google, which everyone is using. Now, Gemini has two parts: Gemini, the AI tools, then Gemini, the language model that you chat with. It's really confusing. So I think that a lot of these, like if anything, they've used AI in other like what did they call OCAI? Way back when, like everything was artificial intelligence overclocking of motherboards and stuff like that.
Right.
This type of stuff will be maybe a some sort of value added chatbot that's inside your motherboard that you can ask it things about your motherboard.
Oh, right. So it'd
That
be
might
like
be fun.
It'd be like things like cooling, right? So if it's overheating, say, it will suggest, hey, we need to add extra fans.
Which you
or cooling.
or yeah, like maybe hardware, but specifically maybe, hey, we've noticed the temperature outside is 37 degrees and your cooling profile is low. Would you like us to turn it to extreme mode for the next 30 minutes? Yeah, sure, okay. I want to play this game.
It's like the smart home for the air conditioning,
but for your
for the
computer.
PC.
That would be useful actually.
Okay,
Because
okay.
if it just chimed in on your game and say, this is your PC talking to you. We are experiencing hotter than normal climate.
Oh,
You know,
and
blah,
another
blah.
thing, also, people are useless for backups. They never back up things, right? So maybe this AI will automatically help you back up stuff without you
That
having
would be
to worry.
funny. But where would you back it up to?
Some
If it's-
cloud somewhere.
If it's partnered with Google somehow, then they sell you a package or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Asus, great company and everything like that, but they've been trying to sell me this Asus backup for years. Right? They keep sending me spam emails begging me to come back to their service. Maybe now is the time for Asus Cloud Backup.
True, actually true. Because
You know?
their routers or routers are really good, and they offer the Asus backup, right?
Well, there you go. Because they've been begging me, like it's $1 a month for a terabyte. What? Actually, I don't trust you to carry my stuff. So no, I'm gonna stick with Google for 10. Sorry.
For now.
For now.
But yeah,
if
yeah.
they integrate it and it's free and you can back up everything into the cloud and they can incrementally on each motherboard take another $10 a month from you to back up everything that's on your PC. I think a lot of people would do that. I think it's just easy.
Yeah, because people don't back up. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And I recently messed up my PC and I had to reinstall everything. Oh,
But wasn't it a pain in the
ass?
ass that it didn't restore all the settings in an image? If it did that from a bare metal restore, I think that would be something that everyone would love to have.
AI backup. Here we go, guys. You
Asus,
listening?
if you take this idea from us, we expect royalties.
Yeah,
You've
AI
heard it here
backup.
first.
All right.
Yeah, before Computex, we've announced it. Okay, what's next?
All right. Another thing from Asus, Asus is called BTF, Back to the Future.
What?
And also MSI did something similar called Project Zero.
Okay, tell me
You
more.
Probably think, well, how's that?
Yeah, what is
well, inside the, I'm not sure if you people see inside the PC because you see cables everywhere, right? Power cables, fan cables,
Only in poorly
USB cables.
cable managed systems. Only
Cables
in poorly
are-
managed ones.
Everywhere. So what happened is they decided to put or create new products, new motherboards that have connectors that are not visible in the front part. They're all at the rear of the board,
Okay.
which means you can plug all your cables the back of the board, so you don't have any disgusting, unruly cables all over the place in the front of the motherboard.
So it's in the back that's unruly. So
Yeah,
they basically
the-
transferred the problem somewhere else.
It transfer the problem from the front to the back. So you
Interesting.
can't see anything, right? So the only
Okay.
thing that you'll see is probably the graphics card that sticks out, the RAM, and maybe the cooler. That's it. No,
Okay,
no,
so-
no visible cables.
Will it make PCs easier to build though?
It'll be the same thing.
Okay, so it doesn't help anyone really.
Not really, but they'll have a new standard, which means new cases. So
so I have to buy a new case.
you will have to probably buy a new case because the fittings, the back of the connectors at the back of the board will have to match up, right?
Well, I know that some people are going to be very happy about this
And also very pissed.
and very pissed. So the consumers will be pissed. The businesses will be very happy.
Right. So
Interesting.
yeah. So you got to have the idea of the board mounting onto the the case, and all the cables are going to come out the back, which means the case design for the back plate of the board needs to have holes or fittings. Where,
Okay.
Yeah. So you get the idea.
So
right?
if you leave the motherboard case plate off, the I/O shield off, you now have to unplug 10 times the amount of cables.
just at the back, just leave it at the back. With that design, also they'll probably have new power supply designs where the cable. If you look at the power supply of the PC, they usually cables that come out at one end.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you can have connectors on the side.
Well, why don't they make them smaller too?
Yeah, make
why
them
don't they use GAN technology, like with the laptop stuff like that? You can do it.
Yeah, you could do it. But so you can have new cases designs and also power supply designs where the connectors are not on the usual side, because the power cable that goes to the wall
Yeah.
to one side, and all the cables come out on this side, right? But now you can have cables coming out on the side fitted connectors,
Okay.
so to allow you to do all the other stuff.
So the cables will be shorter.
Shorter, possibly.
Right
and
angles.
At right angle, yeah. You need right angle ones as well, most
Okay.
likely.
So whole accessory market out there waiting to RGB your cables because they're shorter.
Yeah.
New cases from manufacturers, new motherboards that you have to buy. And at the same time, you might as well just build a whole new system
yeah.
and throw away everything else.
But mind you, I've seen a couple of those systems. They do look good though, because visually, cable are the ugliest, right? But when you see a PC with all no cables and it looks so clean, it just looks nice.
It's just a lot of air.
It's aesthetically pleasing. That's it.
But
Yeah, we'll see probably those coming up. I'm not sure how many others will do it. I know Asus and MSI are doing it.
but it's a standard, right? People are jumping on board, right?
At the moment, I'm not sure if they will.
Because-
But we've seen those showcase. They'll probably showcase
Yeah.
them at Computex. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be talking to a lot of people that make cases,
Yeah.
like Height, for example. We're our friend Rob.
That's right.
We're going to be talking to him about some of the future things, including maybe the standard. I think that's a good question for him.
Yeah, we'll ask him.
Because I've played with the
Oh, yeah.
Height H60.
How'd it go?
I haven't built it yet. I played
It's
with it.
Y70, the big one.
Y70. I pulled it apart. I've looked at things.
Yeah.
And my conclusion is that he just needs to retool some of these plates, and this all might work. So I think that Height's got people's back. Hopefully, that they can just buy a retrofit kit
Yeah,
because it's got enough space.
If you have the plate at the
Yeah.
back, just need to change that so it fits it all. So
Yeah, the case is very modular. I really like the inside, and I think that once I get around to actually building a PC for myself, because I have all the parts, I'm like, gotta sit down and build this.
he's going to teach his kids how to actually
yeah.
build one.
Yeah, so that's going to be a challenge and everything, and plus I have to take my existing system and actually transfer it over.
True.
Which is all the other pain in the ass. Like it's painful to have to transfer, but it's good. It feels good to actually get rid of everything. But my existing PC is very legacy. So it has SATA drives and it has hard drives inside it. So I'm really gonna have to do some soul searching about what I want to keep and what I don't. So
I
I'm
think
gonna
it fits
delete
hard
stuff.
drives in there.
It does.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put those in there. I want to just have it all SSD.
Oh,
All
super fast SSDs.
Yeah. So we shall see. So we'll put the drives on slower SSDs, Gen 4 SSDs, Gen 3, whatever,
Yep.
just for storage.
Yep.
And then our fastest ones will obviously be our OS. So I'll see how that goes. It'll be a very interesting experiment.
So you can ask Rob about the newer stuff if he's got any.
That's a
new-
good question,
Yeah.
right? I think he's aware of it. What's going on with that? They've released a lot of products, so I think that they make
Yeah, they
PCs look
released
really
a
nice.
all-in-one cooler with a massive screen.
It's got a screen on it,
Yeah, it's
right?
like it tells you the weather report and everything.
Yeah,
You can actually customize it and do your own thing on it.
I think this type of motherboard technology has a lot that really would help Heights reach new heights.
New heights.
But we'll find out more. We're also talking about a couple other companies too,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, InWin.
Inwin.
So
Yep.
on the case manufacturer, again, we can ask the same question
Yep.
to her. Nelly will be joining us.
Yeah, that'll be a really good question for most of the case manufacturers that we'll be
Yeah.
talking to. Even Thermaltake, if we talk about there. Cooler Master, of course, right? They also make cases. In terms
Yeah.
of, like the SSDs that we're talking about, the Gen 5, I mean, Patriot's obviously going to be talking about their coolers. Are
Yeah.
they going to do fans? Or are they going to do water blocks?
We saw a prototype at the
Oh, yeah,
show
we did.
last year with a
So-
fan, but I'm not sure it was actually in production because it's been a year
Yep.
And we haven't seen any fan-related product
No,
on
we
the
have not.
SSDs yet. So
And of course, we already talked about MSI and what they're doing. The Project Zero is
yeah,
going to be very
MSI
interesting.
is gonna be one of our first.
Yep.
They didn't do it last year, so this year we're gonna have MSI on board. So we're gonna be asking some questions.
Yeah, and to kind of tie off everything up, we're going to be talking to our friend Mike Petrins again. He's the case modder guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That also works for Volvo. So we're also going to be talking about the new EVs that are coming out of the Volvo factory.
Yeah.
especially the trucks. So we'll see what their range estimates are going from their Berlin, the Worcester plant again, somewhere in
It's in Belgium.
all the way to 1,000 kilometers away. A truck, 1,000 kilometer range. Right?
Seriously, 1,000
1,000
kilometers.
kilometers away. That's what they're benchmarking right now.
Bloody hell.
And Mike's also going, I think this is a fair question, is that, like these new connectors, these new ways of connecting the aesthetics like you're talking about, will that impact his designs for case
Yeah,
mods?
for modding, yeah. So he's a extreme modder. He's got his own thing, and is one of those renowned modders people know.
Yeah.
he does a lot of big projects. So yeah, so he will be probably. I'll be asking the same question: how will this affect him? Because then he'll have to do a new design for
Because
this.
if you think about it, if he doesn't have to worry about remanufacturing cables to be shorter, he can spend more of his time making something just crazy.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So less cable, more visually attractive.
Yeah. And case modding is basically taking existing computer cases and components and just really moving it up a notch to hot rod level. Like the hot rod level.
Changing everything.
Changing everything. Like it's a
Like-
PC. It's more like a sculpture, artistic expression of a PC.
Yeah, that's right. And talking about sculptures, I mean, InWid does some crazy cases.
Oh yeah,
right?
is that Zero? I can't remember. It's the Z something. Z Tower.
Z Tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had the WinBot where they integrated Alexa in there.
Yeah, my first one was the InWin folded case with the 14 folds. I can't remember what it's called, but they folded a case with a machine. Like basically, they took a sheet of aluminum and they folded it 14 times to integrate a case, and they slapped glass onto it. It was very. The case is huge. I still have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still gets me when he says aluminum. It's
Aluminium.
Aluminium.
No, we're not Johnny Ive. We don't work for Apple. Okay, I think that's some excitement.
Yeah.
Before we take off, I think we're taking off after this podcast launch. We'll be taking off the week out,
That's right.
or we might be there already.
Yeah.
You never know.
Definitely, because again, this is a pre-Computex show, so what kind of we expect and what we want to see, and I think that's it's going to be a fun show because again, we're the second year at Computex.
Yeah.
And it's been great. Thank you guys.
Thank you for getting
without
us
you
there.
guys, we wouldn't be here. But
And-
definitely,
Definitely, if you want to know more about Computex, or you're wondering if we can check something out that you've seen on some other tech site, let us know. Maybe we can do a quick film and say, okay, here's what we think of it, and we'll put it up on our social.
That's
which
right.
is now, unfortunately, Elon hates us. He's banned us from his platform for some weird reason.
We're not there.
No, we're not there anymore. He
gotta
banned
be
our
kidding
account.
me.
No, he
What?
doesn't like us because we talked about him
Oh,
in an unflattering way, I guess.
yeah, we have, haven't we?
We have talked about him in the past. So
A lot.
everyone that talks about Elon in an unflattering light, at least this is the only thing that I can think of
They
that
banned us.
bans us off
What the
that platform is
And
us talking about him.
And then he talks about free speech and all that kind of crap.
There
so,
is no free speech on his platform. It's his platform.
bullshit.
Yeah, so he's just BSing us. So we're off that platform, but we are on at Instagram at our podcast show, and also on Threads
Oh, Threads.
at
Yeah.
our podcast show.
Great.
So we will be threading
Mark
away
Zuckerberg.
over there with Mark,
Our friend.
our friend Mark. Hi, Mark. Don't ban us.
I think you should have a match with Elon.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think you need to
And,
take him down a couple pegs.
MMA match.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Show him the rope.
Just show up. He said anywhere. Just show up at his house.
Man,
Or show up at
I
Tesla.
can't believe we're banned. What the hell?
I have no idea how. I really
When
don't.
did you know this?
Because it says we're banned.
Elon.
Okay.
He's
But
lost my respect.
Anyhow, every week we have a brand new podcast on YouTube. We are a YouTube exclusive podcast.
Yes.
We are available on YouTube Music and also on regular YouTube for the video version. Catch us every Wednesday at
right,
noon.
at noon.
And we will be sticking to that release cycle as we are in Taiwan probably. And we will be releasing a new interview throughout the summer with some of these amazing companies. And we might even do 2 a week if we have too many interviews, which will be good for you because then you can watch us twice every week.
That's right.
Right. Until then.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.